Hey, welcome to the For the Masters podcast. My name is John Barrett, your host. Hey, I'm elated. I'm back with a banger. I'm excited, extremely excited because I have one of my buddies, one of my good buddies on the call on the podcast today. I have a guy named Tyler Hogue. But before I tell you what he is to me and like what I know about him, we have admin tasks we have to take care of. Please follow us on all platforms at For the Masters podcast, and please follow us on YouTube at JB and Masters podcast. Hey, we see the views, we see all of that, but we need the subscriber count to go up, okay? So keep adding to the subscriber count. Thank you so much for all the support. I hit my first 1K on YouTube Shorts, so pretty exciting milestone. Let's continue to grow. But I have Tyler Hogue, my brother. We wrestled together. I coached him. You know, we did some business ventures together, and he's a young entrepreneur right now, crushing it out in California. Tyler Hogue, how you doing, my brother?
I'm doing excellent. Thanks for having me on the show. It's been a long time coming. I've been bothering you about this since episode 1. It's like, hey, we got to get a time together. 3 hours behind you right now, so it's hard to coordinate, but we're finally doing it, which is beyond exciting.
Absolutely, bro. It's exciting for many reasons because this is like episode 52 or 53. Isn't that crazy, bro?
Yeah.
It's just surreal, just like keep on grinding, and I just feel like I'm just getting started. Obviously, before the call, we talked about the new camera I got, so we're adding to the quality. I use a real microphone, so it's exciting times, and I always appreciate you because you always support me and you think it's a cool podcast, so I appreciate you, bro.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I remember listening to some of the first couple episodes, and I'm just like, you're always diving in. You're always inspiring me. I got friends that have met you on one-off occasions, and they'll ask me how you're doing. So, and I just tell them to follow JB the Masses. So,
hey, that means the world to me, especially coming from you, Tyler Holt, because you're the man. And so I alluded this earlier in the intro, but essentially I met you because we wrestled together. Did we wrestle together, or did I just coach you that 1 or 2 years?
Yeah, so you were a senior when I was a freshman. So we had 1 year when we were actually on, the roster together over at Wheeling Jesuit. I think I remember actually you and Jay both kicking my butt the first open mat session we had. And I'm just like, all right, I got a lot of work to do, but I'm just happy to be here. That was kind of my takeaway from that day. I mean, we didn't go long, but it didn't.
Yeah. No, for sure. I mean, I think that was like almost at the peak of our program, so we were just all like really, really good. Everybody wanted to be the man. Everyone was pretty high level. So coming into the room, definitely is adjustment, but you adjusted just fine. I remember when you came on your visit, you had on a purple polo, and this is not weird or anything for everyone listening. We had on a purple polo, some khakis, some Sperry's, and I remember shaking your hand. I was like, oh, okay. This guy seems like a Mark. No, I'm just kidding. No, like they say Mark out there where you stay. They're like, are you a Mark?
Is that like a Karen?
It's like a Cali thing. Oh gosh, no.
No, I don't know. I mean, what's a Mark? I don't know if I know.
A Mark is like a lame.
Oh, I mean, you're not wrong, man.
Yeah. Nah, I didn't think you were a Mark, but I just thought he was just like a meathead type dude who just like power lifts for like recreational fun and just like tries to wrestle. So but like Euro is super cool. I remember your mom being there, and I love her. She's a great individual too. Obviously, your dad is like incredible as well. He's just like us. So I was excited, and obviously you wrestled for. Did you do 4 or 5 years?
I was just there 4 years. So.
Yeah, 4 years. Yeah, and then, but we really grew our relationship. I coached you occasionally, but we really grew our relationship off the mat. Not so much like hanging out, but like you were really involved in the school and like leadership positions. Helping you develop your PowerPoints, running for office, all these different things. Like what really encouraged you to get like active outside of off the mat?
Yeah, I think it's just being interested, like being curious. There were a lot of opportunities, things to do, people to talk to. And I just genuinely feel like I can get along with mostly anyone. And I do remember like you pushing me in certain directions. I'm in between classes. You would have an office on campus. Your role at the time, I think was director of campus activities.
Mhm.
And so, you just come by to talk and say what's up. And you kind of pushed me in the direction of like being someone on campus that could like lead, I guess. And
Yeah, for sure.
I remember something that stuck out to me that you said to me specifically was, you should do this. Like you should go and do these things because like they'll pay off. So I just had fun with it. I enjoyed having like identity outside of wrestling as well, because wrestling's really hard and you don't want to put all your eggs in one basket necessarily. I was just happy to be there and happy to be involved, and kind of being in a nice community was nice.
For sure, bro. It's so at the level we were competing at, it was so hard to like not just focus on wrestling because we all want to be good, But at the end of the day, there's only 10 spots, and then after college, there's really not professional wrestling unless you're doing what Maxwell Lacey is doing, competing on a world circuit, get signed by RTC, like a regional training center, and you're just trying to like live that grind lifestyle for the next 8 to 10 years after college. But a lot of us don't go down that route. So, we got to start cultivating our other passions, find out our God-given purpose. And yeah, for you, like I always saw the energy in you. I saw that you just like to be around people and stuff like that, and people like being around you. So I was like, yeah, no brainer, dude. Like if I can have good people around me that also like are, basically running everything off the mat, like why not? And you were like a good guy, evident eventually of like your leadership skills. So I'm super happy for you, bro.
Thanks. Yeah, I appreciate the push.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I mean, because obviously, like you were like ADHD, so basically, like I had to focus you in. And I think a lot of thing too we discount is the fact that when we're that young, we really don't know what we don't know. It's like I'm like, oh yeah, just do this. Like use your calendar, use your Google Calendar to like put all your classes on here, and then you see all the free time gaps you have, so you can actually see when you need to take a nap, as opposed to just kind of like winging it and like missing class. I think that was a big conversation we had up front, unless I'm mistaken.
No, I would say one, those are things I'm still working on. Also, what is it? You don't know what you don't know.
Yep, you don't know what you don't know.
Did you get that from a guy named Barry?
I did not. I don't know Barry, but he sounds like a great person if he told you that.
in my new role, he's like a sales training kind of guy. He's almost got like a Bill Nye the Science Guy kind of vibe to him. But
gosh.
Yeah, he's like that was like one of his main mantras is like you don't know what you don't know. So then it goes into like discovery and asking open-ended questions, and that's how you find stuff out. But
for sure, yeah, it is a business, it is a sales type of thing, and it's also just like, hey, I know type of term. It's funny, open-ended questions like, do you like train on if I would you statements? So hey, if I can show you the benefits of this app with Appfolio, would you take a look? Do you teach you anything like that?
Yeah, I would say those are. Whoa, that's in the training. I mean, it's interesting because I just got off my shift over at work, and those things come into play. My role is not exactly a sales role just yet. I more set the table for our prospects to talk to the sales team. Okay. So I'm in a heavy like qualifying and discovery kind of phase of the cycle.
For sure.
Well, more training to come. I'm sure we'll get there, but it's mainly open-ended questions, making sure we're layering into what they're giving us and active listening, and it's definitely been a challenge for sure. There's a lot of reward on the other side of it, so I'm currently right now in the middle of working through that, right? And there's a lot of cold calling, and there's a lot of cold emails, and there's a lot of rejection. and it's definitely challenging. Like I don't want it to be that hard, but I mean, there's a good reward on the other side, financially.
For sure.
And just the skills and being able to communicate with people, and like when you apply that to like people in your life, you'll start having better conversations with people as well when you start asking open-ended questions and actively listening to them.
Yeah, for sure. That's exciting because I remember when I was probably like a little younger than you, because I'm 20 years old, so
You're a trailblazer.
I know, bro. I remember learning about all this stuff, like open-ended questions and things like that, because the goal of asking open-ended questions are so you can learn more information about the customer, so you can provide value to them on the back end. So they're like, hey, I need an app that's able to like geotag every time a person comes to this event. And if you're asking the right questions, you learn that they want that, and then you mention it in your pitch. So I think that was like super cool. I don't know if you know this whole, but when I was in college, I used to like go door to door to businesses to like do text mobile marketing and other like benefits like that for them. So I walk into a bakery, I'd be like, hey, if I can show you how you can have a mobile website by texting cake to 346349 or something like that, and I can show you how that converts to sales for your company or your business, would you take a look? And I would already have the landing page already built out for them with the code, so they would literally text cake and it will come to them, and it was like pretty much conversion at that point.
Yeah, I mean it's a really fair proposition. Kind of what they're looking for. If you've say you've researched the company and you realize they don't have, it was a mobile website. It was
text mobile marketing. Yeah. So like, we used to text, ringtones, like text Soulja for Soulja Boy's new song to 34369. But yeah, back in the day, you can do stuff like that. I used to.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, learning some cool stuff on that front. That's work though, it's interesting. Work's cool.
Yeah.
But stuff outside work's cool too. I don't know.
Yeah.
Just enjoying life. And yeah, I mean, I'm just curious, like what's new in your world? Like
yeah, bro.
Yeah.
Well, first I want to let you know, like, I'm super proud of you for, finding a passion outside of, wrestling. I know you did a lot of coaching and stuff like that after you matriculated on to life, but just like, it's super cool to like see us like get into other fields where we can be competitive, because you eventually getting into sales is good for you because you'll be able to be competitive eventually, and you can like have metrics and milestones that you can hit, even when we talk about Sean Doyle a lot, which he's episode 49 dropping on Friday of this week, so I'm pretty excited. You know why he's 49 though, right?
I don't know if I do.
Because I wrestled 149, Hogue.
So that's why Coach Doyle's 49?
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe
I'm down. Hey, I'm down as long as that makes, it makes sense now.
Yeah, for sure. Well, anyways, so yeah, like Sean Doyle, he talks about even a lot. Even he's a director of operations at an architect and engineering company, and he talks about a lot about like leadership milestones, setting metrics for people so they can actively grow. So I know it's going to just lead to more growth for you, man. And I'm glad you can direct the energy somewhere else. You got to. Sure.
If you don't like it's like, if you don't do these things, what's the impact going to be? You're gonna do less than what you're capable of doing, and obviously you don't want to be too hard on yourself, and you want to enjoy life, right? And you want to enjoy things that aren't necessarily like super goal driven, but in order to, I think, enjoy the things that we're going to want to enjoy later in life, or I don't know, it's just nice to kind of be on the straight and narrow, because it's you just don't want to feel like you're not doing good enough. It's not that good of a feeling.
Not for sure. But also that comes from comparison, and we can't be doing that, because it's also a time in our lives to like explore other things we want to do. If you don't have a passion, super, super helpful to like find that passion instead of like, banging your head on your desk every day trying to figure out if this makes you happy or not.
Yeah. I'm trying to say, is there any new passions in your life?
Well, podcasting, I mean, I think the first 50 episodes were really a lot about me learning what podcasting is, the art of conversation, the art of interviewing people, how to select guests. I think for me, the podcast for the masses is a lot about like growth, self-development, faith, finance, fitness, all these different things that like, are super important in my life, mainly my faith, and having conversations and finding out what everyone else is doing, and also adding value to people via these conversations, So like, I know a lot of people will find value from this conversation because I feel like we're talking about growth, we're talking about like sales, we're talking about different things that like, hey, that 25 to 28, which is my largest demographic, would like need to find because they probably are feeling the same way.
Yeah, you know what, and the evidence points that like they are feeling the same way. I've got a buddy reaching out to my dad about an opportunity. I feel like everyone's kind of scrambling to get on the straight and narrow, or to get on like a consistent path, because it's important, because we want to feel like we're working towards something, accomplishing something. So
yeah. I think too, a lot of it is like comparison, because if you look at like older people, like 40s, 50s, they did what we would call like floating around between job to job, or like from coast to coast for a number of years, probably like till like 30, 32, just because they were still trying to figure it out. They didn't have the internet though to make comparisons to like say, oh man, my friends are getting married and buying houses right now. What am I doing? So it's super daunting to not want to do that. It's kind of like, oh man, am I messing up? When in reality, we're all like super young. Life expectancy is like almost 78 now, with advanced technology.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah.
So you got time. You got time, but you don't got time. Gary Vee always says that. He's like, oh, you're young. You're young. I didn't start wine library because I was 35.
Yeah. He'll be like, you're 40? You're young.
Yeah. Like, you're 40? Kids 18? You're young. You're young. So for sure, bro.
Gary Vee was one of the first dudes to really show his face and kind of bring that energy to like social media platforms about, I don't know, just self-development and entrepreneurship and things like that. So
for sure.
Shout out Gary Vee. He's cool.
Yeah, I like him a lot too. He started the movement of like batching content together and then repurposing it like aggressively, like 10 videos a day, and really growing his presence like that. And then obviously like genuinely caring about people and preaching that. So I always resonated with him from that aspect of it. Because, I think we have to have a certain level of urgency in our lives to be able to get to our purpose sooner, our God-given purpose sooner. But in order to get there, you got to be like trying multiple things. I'm super grateful for the things I tried earlier in my life to, including wrestling, to like really like find out what I want to do, and still trying things,
Yeah, I think that's something I'm curious about right now. Like what I'm doing, like there's a good payoff for it, but for some reason it feels like it's just something I'm going to be trying.
In what way?
Just in the way that like at least walking away certain days, I don't feel great about it necessarily. Yeah. I feel like, not that it just, I don't know if it best suits like how I want to be communicating with people. Like I have no doubt that we have a great product, but the thing is, it's like feeling like, hey, I got to come to you with this thing. It can be a little like daunting. It's almost like I'm not confrontational enough necessarily.
Yeah.
And this kind of goes to like the whole like comparison thing, right? Like I'm comparing myself to other people in the office that I hear are doing things right. And I don't know, just try not to be too hard on myself about it as well. But it's definitely interesting. I would say like lifestyle and environment is a lot different here. Just like work. I mean, work's kind of the same, but like personal life, lifestyle, environment here in California is different and I'm trying to get used to it. I mean, even the way like people interact, strangers interact, it's very, very different. But it's allowed me to focus in on the good people in my life a lot more.
Yeah, for sure.
Or just the people that I've been close with for a long time. And that's kind of where I'm at with all that. So
yeah, I encourage you to continue to put that delayed gratification hat on. I think that's what it's eventually about, because you're in a new space, you're trying something new, you're trying to see if it's still for you. There's a lot of people who've been doing it longer than you that you might be comparing yourself to, but you have to get through the hard phase of like gaining those skills, I would say, before you can, really like, if you are going to compare yourself after you get the skills. I did the same thing, especially with managing people. I felt like I was already a good leader, a good manager. But again, Hedger tells a story about a lot about good leaders aren't born. No man was like born a leader. They're shaped. And I feel like that's the same thing about what you're going through. I feel like if you are going to compare, I don't recommend comparing. But by the time you get the skills and things like that, you're not going to want to compare, because you're going to be like, I'm better than this. I can add more value than what I'm trying to compare myself to. There's always the next level for me.
Cool. Yeah. Thanks for the advice. I'm definitely just blowing off some steam after, last month, basically what happened was, I have a goal and was one appointment away from the goal.
Yeah.
That was with 3 weeks left in the month. Like, I was there early, had 5 or 6 people just cancel, and it was like super, what's the word? Like, demoralizing might be a harsh word, but I mean, hey, it might fit. Like, definitely, I was like, man, because I'm one of those guys like, oh, I'm hitting goal. Like, I'm gonna.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, going through the Jesuit program, be the man. Like, go.
Yeah.
Like, just and having that confidence, right? And you don't get it, and you're like, dude, here we go again. Like,
yeah.
Short of the goal. Like,
yeah, for sure.
It's frustrating, but other than that, like, things are good. Like, personal life is good. My family's coming back here. They get to visit me like 3 or 4 times a year now. They'll rent an Airbnb. I know you mentioned my mom earlier. She's awesome.
She is.
I really can't like say enough like about how she loves,
Yeah.
It's like, and then my sister's cool, bro. She's so funny. She's cool. She's one of those people, you'll ask her, like, hey, do you want to do this? She'll go, no. Oh.
Yeah. You're respectfully. You're like, all right, it's okay. I mean, like I said, I love your family a lot. Real quick, circling back to goal thing. I'm sorry that happened to you though. I know that's a huge learning experience though for you too, because when I was in officer school, we took our PT test and it was a max score of a 300. I got a 290, right? Still a pretty good score, but it's not like a 300, right? I got second place. I didn't win the tournament. And my TAC, or our officer in charge, he basically was like, hey, if you got a 300, you get to the head of the line for lunch or something like that. I was like, hell, what about 290s? She's like, not 300, and it's like, you're right there. And despite all my efforts, I was like, oh man, she's right though. So I understand that feeling, and I know it's going to make you better to make sure you get that 300 next time.
Yeah, that's the idea. So we're ramping up quota. So
let's go.
Yeah,
let's go.
Yeah, they give us inbound leads now. I'll start getting someone fills out a demonstration request on the website. I get to talk to them. First one I got, call the dude, and he grills me for phone etiquette or something. And I was like, oh, I'll send you the call. It's pretty funny.
Let's go.
I really don't think in hindsight I did anything wrong. I think I got someone on the other line who, I don't know, has a certain expectation. but I was just so pumped, right? Like, cool, I'm going to start getting inbound leads. It's going to change kind of like the job in general.
Yeah, for sure.
The dude just grills me. It's super funny.
I'm looking forward to hearing it, honestly.
I'll send it your way.
Yeah, for sure, bro. But so your family's coming up to visit you. You're up in Santa Barbara, California. You have a beautiful, amazing family. And like I know the type of person you are. Like you're super big on family, so they're coming up to visit you. I know you're gonna cry a lot.
I don't think I'll cry. I might get teary eyed and like all like the emotion will come to the front of my face.
Yeah, which
maybe,
is
maybe I'll cry.
Yeah, I mean, I think you will because, like I said, like you try to act like you're not family, like you're on your own in California. But yeah, you're super big.
Family is the only thing that matters. So
yeah, ultimately. So like, tell your mama say hello. Tell her that me and you are still gonna plan on buying her a business from her here soon. So
yeah, dude, she keeps trying to get me in, and my reasoning is like, hey, I just need more experience. And I would say I could even take everything I've learned in the last 6 months in my role, and it would make me a 10 times better, put me in a 10 times better position to be able to run that business.
For sure. I mean, I feel like you can do it now just because I feel like you have the internet and like also the position you guys are in, like you can just pay for like the knowledge that you need to know, honestly, to be able to run that business effectively. But this experience is good because you can scale it. Like that's what's really gonna like help for you to scale things.
Yeah. Well, I think one conversation I had with her recently was just identifying like our ideal customers and like what space we would want to work in. And then it's like, okay, like how do we provide a service for them? We already have the people that we're providing a service for right now.
For sure.
Our ideal customer, let's identify them so that we can go after them and bring them a value proposition. I mean, so it's there.
Oh, for sure, for sure. I mean, like I said, like the cost analysis, like you can do for people alone is just like where because you're in a business where you can actually show people like, hey, this is how much I can save you if you let my business do your service. You know, you can actually go to people with something hard and like, hey, like it's 100% free to let me analyze like how much you're spending on for payroll, and this is how we can do better. You know, so like that's pretty cool. So Hogue, like personally, you're doing well. Yeah, I see you're after this session, you're going to go do a training session with a young boy, and like, how's your mental?
Mental's good. I mean, it's seriously, the environment out here is a little crazy, right? I mean,
yeah,
you see some homelessness, you see some drug use, you see the common person. There's a lot of like diversity as well, so different cultures. So there's a lot of like stimulating factors to my environment. It's interesting. Mental is good. Like one, I have really good support from, you know, on a day-to-day, from my girlfriend, Lisa. I've been seeing her over a year now. I'm able to go visit her family, frequently. She takes care of me, you know, and we're on a pretty good, we're on the same page right now. So that helps a lot. Being able to have like releases, as far as going to the gym. I just feel like I understand myself, like who I am. I don't necessarily feel like I deal with anything that bad. I know people dealing with a lot worse mentally.
Yeah.
Honestly, I mean, things are good. The thing is, whenever I always gotta find a way to pull myself back out of whatever I'm feeling. And I've done it before. So it's not hard. And typically those feelings just come from, okay, I am this age. I've outgrown what I've previously enjoyed or done. So like, what do I do next? Like, what's the next challenge? What's the next stage? And just like maturing. And I think like most of what I've experienced in the past were just like growing pains or needing to mature.
Yeah.
And I'm doing those things. And so now that I'm able to identify them, I mean, at this point, it's just like it's gotten easier in a lot of
Yeah.
ways.
Man, that's beautiful, honestly. And that makes me happy because like I feel like learning yourself and knowing yourself helps everyone around you. And you know your expectations and you can articulate those to people around you in such a way that they're not offended. They know that you're just trying to take care of yourself, and that's real self love. And I'm happy you're in that space because I think before you would have just ran yourself ragged and then try to get to a point of like I'm not understanding why I'm feeling this way.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm way more like relaxed. I feel like than I used to be. Like I don't need to do stuff. I like to chill. I like to be home at night. I like to go to bed kind of early, wake up.
Yeah, domesticated.
Yeah, I mean more domesticated. I mean, but,
Yeah.
um, the one thing I think that I dealt with, a lot of people deal with, right? And you deal with going through that like experimental phase of wanting to try things. You drink X amount. I know you don't drink,
Indulge.
you
Yeah.
don't do you don't do those things. But I know a lot of people that do, and I've seen it affect people. And it's like, when are we going to stop? So I've kind of like made that promise with myself that I'm not going to let that derail, the good things I have going on in my life. Not that I feel like it was ever an issue or like anything
Yeah.
out of the ordinary. It was just like, it's like, hey, let's buckle up, let's focus in. There's a lot to enjoy in life, and you don't really need those things to
Yeah,
enjoy.
for sure.
Do them, but I'll go out and have a beer, but it'll be a beer or two.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, I'm so happy that I'm only having two, and I'm still going to bed at like, 10 or 11.
For sure.
Or like indulging in a new show or indulging in like a new food. Dude, I've gained 30 pounds this year, which is a whole nother story.
Yeah, for sure.
Not like hitting the weight room. I actually tore my pec like a year and a half ago.
Really?
Recently, yeah. I recently got my consultation done, and the guy said, "Dude, you waited way too long to come to me. It's an atrophy, and like you're not really going to be able to like work out the same, like do those chest presses." And that was like that was a bummer for sure. But I'm still working out. It actually got me back in the gym. The gym I'm at right now has got a sauna, a cold tub, a jacuzzi. It's got some nice amenities. So I kind of, I'll go run a little bit. I'll stretch. I'll do that. So
that's a vibe for sure.
But dude, there's some good food out here too. There's some good Mexican food. There's good seafood. There's food I never even heard of before or tried before, and I'm trying it. And that's something I'm really enjoying right now. So
that's incredible, bro. And I got to come out there for sure. And maybe we'll run this back for round 2 because I know Shane's going to get on the pod here soon too, and he's helped me a lot with my social media game, honestly, like immensely. So I'm super grateful for him, and like eventually you connecting us.
Yeah, dude, Shane's great. Shane's like all in. I don't know if you know, like I live with him.
Yeah.
But he's all in with what he's doing, and follow him at the Hoop Mountain.
Hoop Mountain.
So, I mean, what's he really been like? I know you guys are going to talk about it on your podcast, but
yeah, I'll give you the bluff.
What's that?
I say, yeah, I'll give you the bluff of what we're talking about. Typically, everyone follow Hoop Mountain right here. It's going to be right here. I hope I can do it right. But yeah, so he's been basically just putting me on game about like, hey, what it takes to really like grow on Instagram, TikTok, grow on social right now. Essentially, what the clips look like, what's added value, how to use trending sounds, how to really grow a following, how to eventually monetize. So he's been super, super, super helpful. So I'm excited. Yeah, I'm just trying to like clip this up right now, and keep growing the pod. Just getting started.
Yeah, no, he's the guy to go to. I mean, he's all in. He's kind of I don't necessarily like put myself in that space. I don't have Twitter or Instagram. I use Facebook and occasionally Snapchat, just to keep the memories and the photos and do the dog filter and all that fun stuff. But I mean, as far as like him being up to date with basically, I don't know if like algorithms the right word, but just being up to date with anything as far as visibility and social media visibility is concerned, like that's the guy you're going to want to go to, because he's trying to do that for himself. So I think he can service other people by helping them do that as well.
For sure, bro. Yeah, I know he's helped me and Lacey a lot too. So I'm super grateful you were able to connect us. It's funny because when I talked to him like last week, he was like, "Yeah, Hogue's my roommate, right?" And so basically the same thing you told me. He's like, "Yo, dude, I live with him, right?" I was like, "Yeah, you guys both told me you guys live with each other."
Yeah.
Nah, but yeah, bro, I'm super excited you can jump on a pod. This is going to be named Quarter Life, not Crisis, but something in replace of Crisis. This the antonym for crisis.
Yeah, it's not really a crisis anymore.
Yeah, for sure. And that's an insider. That's an insider for everyone listening, and you'll find out when Hogue releases whatever he's doing. So but
see, I might just leave it to the professionals like you. I've got it's all good as long as I can hop on every once in a while. But hey, I want to take you up on round 2. I think there's so much more we can follow up on. Felt like I was like getting my feet wet and getting comfortable at first, but I don't think anyone would be too mad about a part 2. We can dive.
No, I don't think anyone would. Think anyone would, bro. So where can people find you though? Or what, on Facebook or Snapchat or email or what? Like, how are people gonna like talk to you?
You can find my I don't know, my phone number. I don't know.
Okay, don't do that. Okay, no, I'll drop Hogue's information in the show notes for everyone that wants to get in contact with him to talk about growth or anything like that. He's a super approachable dude, and I'm super grateful we have a strong friendship.
Yeah, JB, I'm extremely thankful for our friendship too. You've always been someone I can count on. It's like through the years, whenever we talk, it's a good talk. Not only that, like you allow me to see like the good in people. Like if I'm being real, like you have met all these people, you get them to come onto your show. Everyone is willing to give you that time. And it's just because when they met you, they're like, wow, this is a stellar human being. And I think you carry yourself in a way that 99.9% of people should try and model the approach and mentality you have. And everyone can learn something from you. So.
Hey, Hogue, that means the world to me, and obviously like I respect you a lot, and like it means a lot to me, as we continue to grow together in God, and it's a blessing for sure. And I'm definitely going to drop your show notes because I know you got to get to a training session, but thank you for jumping on For the Masses podcast, Hogue.
Thanks for having me, JB. It was a pleasure.
Hey, always a pleasure, my brother. Talk soon.
All right. Have a good one.
Hey, had a phenomenal episode with the young Tyler Hogue. Hey, super grateful to have these group of young men in my life that hold me accountable, that show me what's really possible as we continue to all look for growth so we're not staying stagnant. So that's only God. That's a blessing for sure. And thank you all for listening. This is going to be episode like 52 or 53. We're just going to keep growing. We're going to keep upping the quality. Let's continue to add to the subscriber count and the follower and the subscription count. So thank you for listening For the Masses podcast.